It is the best time in the history of mankind to be an entrepreneur. With the advent of technology such as creating a website in under 10 minutes, getting an LLC set up in a few clicks, and start capturing attention for free on social media channels, it has never been easier to start a business in today's world. And while this is great for those with the best intentions, unfortunately what I'm starting to see more and more is people that maybe start out with good intentions or even start out with ill intentions start amassing attention and income doing some of the things that we're going to talk about in this video here. This is either because they themselves have no integrity and don't care, or they don't actually understand how one does have business integrity. And that's going to be what this video is aimed at. The 3 basic principles that I've learned in scaling a multiple 8-figure company and having business integrity in everything that you do. To be clear, I'm not perfect and I may not follow these all the times, but I think it's important to have guiding principles so that you can stay above all the rest. Number 1 is a concept called extreme ownership. When I work with entrepreneurs and I ask them, what's the problem here? What's the problem there? Almost never do I hear them take ownership of the problem themselves. Most of the time they say, it was this team member, it was this coach, it was this social media account, it was the fact that I got my ad shut down. All of these things are pointing the blame and giving responsibility for their life to somebody else. They're essentially claiming to be a victim, saying that I have no control over the future of my life, which is the exact opposite of what an entrepreneur should be. So that's why it's important to practice the concept called extreme ownership, meaning just that. Every single thing that happens in your life, whether it's good or whether it's bad, is 100% your fault. And this sometimes can get a little crazy. I recently made a few investments that I may have lost millions of dollars on. And while some could argue that it was a Ponzi scheme or a rug pull, I made the choice willingly to invest my money in these assets, and I might have lost it all. That's not anybody else's fault but my own. I should have done more research. I should have understood the product or the asset a little bit more, but instead I went ahead and I wanted money quickly. So most people around me would think that's insane for me to take ownership of this, especially when these people are going to go to jail. But in reality, if I say it's my fault, I can learn the lessons from it and I don't give that other person power. If your team member keeps on messing up and that's the reason why you haven't grown your business, well, that's also your fault, because think about it. You hired the team member, and also you gave the team member the instructions of the training, and also you keep on paying the team member month after month even though you know that they're not doing the right job. So it's not even the team member's fault, and you're not doing them any favors by keeping them there. Instead, you should take extreme ownership and fire them and find somebody else who's actually going to get the job done. The second framework I want you to understand is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So this is incredibly simple, but the idea is that there are no exceptions in your action. Many people, whenever they treat somebody poorly or they treat an employee poorly or a client poorly, they think that, oh, well, they deserve it, or this is an exception to however I usually act. When you don't see this in play is when people say things like but, like you're a great person, but, meaning that there's an exception to that rule there. And what the problem with that is that there is no exceptions in your life. The way that your brain works is essentially black and white. It's binary. So if you think that it's okay to do it this one time, then you think it's okay to do it every single time. So you should have no exceptions at what you do. So for example, if you're gonna do something that nobody will ever see, let's say make your bed every single morning or keep your house clean, even though there's a chance that nobody will ever see that, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you actually keep your house a pigsty, if you never make your bed in the morning, then that's probably gonna bleed over in other areas of your life. You're probably gonna disorganize in other areas of your life. One of my old mentors when I was first starting the entrepreneurial world, whenever they would interview people, what they would do is have one person interview them and they'd have the second person go around to the parking lot and go to that person's car and see what the inside of the car looked like. Because they could just tell from the inside of how organized they kept their car, how organized they would likely keep the rest of their life and how great of an employee they'd be because of that. And the third and final framework that I at least use as my North Star in business integrity is what is known as universal karma. So you can believe in a higher power, divinity, whatever else it is, but I can tell you right now that there is some kind of karma in the world that we live in because I see it happen all the time. What the issue arises is that when people think that the karma is going to be instant, a lot of the times it's not. So I hear all the times these people that are scamming people in multiple different business opportunities, whether it's crypto, whether it's Amazon stores, whether it's coaches or gurus, they think, how is this person making tens of millions of dollars doing this? They're getting away with it. And then that makes them think that they should maybe do the same thing because they don't think that it's fair. Well, first of all, newsflash, life is not fair. Second of all, the idea of universal karma is that at some point it will catch up to them. Something will break, something will come back in one way or the other, and it will feed them for what they have been doing for the past few years of their life. So do not worry if someone's getting away with something, and instead have solace in the fact that eventually will catch up to them. And that also goes for you. The actions that you take on a daily basis, the extreme ownership, how you do one thing is how you do everything, that also plays into karma. So if you're treating people poorly, if you treat people with disrespect, if you treat team members, employees, prospects, anybody in this world poorly, don't be surprised when it comes back on you. Another really great example of this is what is known as the mirror. The mirror is how you treat the other people is how you get to be treated. The golden rule. Well, this is a lot of the reasons why I don't complain at certain situations where a lot of people would complain, because I don't want to complain. I don't want to have people complain to me. Or I don't almost ever charge anybody back on my credit card because I also don't want people to charge me back. Or I'm not late to meetings because I don't want other people to be late to my meetings. So the idea behind all of this is that, and somewhere or the other, the universe will pay you back for the things that you're doing. So you might as well make sure the things that you're doing are mostly good.
It's simple. What I'm about to show you is going to change your life forever. I can make bold claims like that because this very advice I'm going to give you has made me millions of dollars in under 2 years. I've also shown this framework to thousands of my clients to drastically improve their life in their areas of wealth, health, and relationships.